September 11, 2001, in some ways, is reminiscent of the assassination of John F. Kennedy, in that we all know where we were at the time of the tragedy. For September 11th, I was on my way to work. I was then Associate Dean at Florida Atlantic University. The Today Show was on in the background. I was leaving the house, and I remember this commotion on TV. I turned to look, and I saw that there was one tower that was burning, and you can see part of the airplane sticking out. At that very moment, the second plane hit the second tower, and I remember thinking whether this was real or whether it was something that was actually being played, part of a film or something to that effect. A sobering moment indeed. One of, if we can speak in terms of positive aspects, one of the positive results, I think, of 9/11 was this sense of comradeship, or this sense of brotherhood, whatever word we want to give it. I remember in Europe, most of the European newspapers had the headline, "We're all Americans," in camaraderie and sympathy and empathy. These were things that perhaps some of the positive results in that we realized that there was a sense of camaraderie in the world that maybe at that time we weren't so sure was all that solid or all that stable. Two things come to mind. One, that sense of camaraderie. Two, the fragility of life, the fleetingness sort of the human condition, and that perhaps we need to think about more of the camaraderie and the brotherhood that was so significant and so overpowering in the few months that followed it. And I hope that we can get back to that sense of camaraderie and brotherhood as we think about the 10 years and we think about all the people who lost their lives. I would end with a codicil that there's a certain degree of significance vis-a-vis the Italian-American community. Somewhere in the amount of 320 or 330 Italians or Italian-Americans lost their lives in 9/11. Of the 350 civil servants between firemen and also police officers, I think it's a good 130 who were of Italian ancestry. And this is something that we should also remember as Italian Americans, the sacrifice that this current generation of Italians in America have made in that moment, some of them being even Peter Ganci, who was the then chief of the fire department. So with that I say, let us remember the sacrifices that our sisters and brothers made that day, and let us go forward with a sense of camaraderie and a sense of brotherhood that existed in those months immediately after 9/11, and in this 10 years, let's try to get back to that sense.